How you doing, guys? It's Namulala. I'm at Funabashi Shrine, and here's a little bamboo forest. Now, on the other side of the bamboo forest is a lighthouse that was burned down and reconstructed and been around since the times of the Boshin War. If you ever watched Kenshin, you would know what that was, the Bakufu Senso Boshin War, the Japanese Civil War between the emperor, and the shogun. Essentially, that's what it is. And this lighthouse, the first two floors are Japanese style. Then the top floor is hexagonal, which is a Western style. It does not employ any lenses but mirrors, but still was current for its time in the mid-late 1800s in which it was employed. And that is it right there. And it was built in the grounds of this temple before. And this is a real ship city. And so this is part of the temple ground, or shrine grounds, excuse me. Shrine grounds. And see the wonderful work here. This kind of reminds me of Nikko Toshogu, being that they're both shrines rather than temples. But the founder of Shintoism was a Buddhist monk, to my knowledge. Don't ask me his exact name; I can't remember, to be honest. That beautiful artwork. Something special. You don't come across this every day. And to think, for someone growing up in Asia, this is like going to like a Catholic church or something, or a Protestant church for a Westerner. You don't really think much about the stuff when you grow up around it. But if you're from the other side of the earth, you don't get to see that every day. So that's a crest. I think, don't quote me, that might be one of the family crests for the shogunate. Could be mistaken. In the area behind me, there is a, sumo ring, an old-fashioned sumo ring, and the shogun himself came and watched a sumo match there. It kind of reminds me of the prongs that stick out of the kabuto, which is the kabuto being the samurai helmet. The shapes of that roof remind me of such. Yep. And you have people here doing paintings of nature. It's a big thing in Japanese culture. And this might actually be a lotus tree, if I'm not mistaken. I see the blooming. It's amazing. If you guys can notice, the white bulb in the bloom, very beautiful. You don't see that every day. And there's a bamboo forest, and there is the temple, or the shrine, excuse me, I keep on saying temple by accident, because I used to live by a Buddhist temple in Ibaraki, and now I live in Chiba. And this is someone praying here. It's just like anywhere else in the world, you pray for, things that are most important to you. And I want to say the staff at this shrine are particularly kind, and they have like a special service for people, going through huge changes and new adventures in their life. And I went here, and the priest consoled me. He was very kind. He remembered me even a year later. I've never seen my face. Not that that's hard, there's not many foreigners in this part of the rural parts of Tokyo suburbs. And there's some carp. Carp also are called koi in Japanese in that pond. So apartment buildings there. This is like a little parking lot. And the torii, the cemented torii gate. It's either cemented or carved. And it was the little service I had was in here, right here. It was really good. And it was about, in US dollars, about $30. It was worth every penny. I encourage you guys to come check it out, and so do this religious staff in Japan. Really encourage foreigners to experience their culture, also from like the more religious angles, not just pure pictures and sightseeing. Not saying I haven't done that. There's a whole bunch of old IRLs that I haven't shown you guys. They're gonna blow your mind. And here's in English of the Tomuyo-dai Lighthouse. I can't read Chinese characters that well, guys, if you didn't know. I'm not a linguist. I'm a hard scientist. Okay, this is what it looks like from a higher view. And date of designation, modern Showa 37. I was born on Showa 56. Same era in Japanese. Reconstructed 1880. Burned down in 1868. KO4. It could be seen from 6 nautical miles or 11 kilometers. And this is issued by the Funabashi Jinja Board of Education. Some other small shrines line the area. Of course, you got cameras and everything, keeping safe and secure. Shrine office. You have an area here that I think is commemorating past priests and staff. I'm sorry, I keep on using Buddhist terms for a Shinto area. This is a very old plaque, as you can see, and it's weather worn. And even some of the Chinese characters that are used here, modern Japanese people have difficulty reading them, except for maybe some scholars, and their meaning might be obfuscated through antiquity. Look, and then you have some clovers right there. And you have some other small shrines there. Now you have an event pavilion here also. During Setsubun, when they throw candy and snacks to the children, they have a stage organized around here. A stage. So you have a couple with a newborn baby, and they're just checking out the area. I think the groundskeeper might be closing it up or something. I'm not sure, because this one's closed right here. And this is the pavilion, this entrance. Has some cars there. Now on the lower part of the hill over there where the restrooms are, you have the old sumo ring. Konnichiwa, hello, konnichiwa. So yeah, this is the area where you have I said excuse me in Japanese because I don't want to disturb people's time. So these are the other side shrines that people come to pray for often. I noticed for like serious stuff, kind of like side chapels you'd have in a church establishment. You have the shishi or shisa, as they're known in Okinawan. Shishi in Yamato Japanese. You have the gates. Hey, Super 60. My day is pretty interesting. I was watching a Hearthstone streamer named Yuka. She's like has a cold, about to cry. I'm dying of starvation. So I said, I threw her a $5 tip because even though she doesn't read English much, she takes the time for me. And sumimasen. And yeah, so it's been a weird, interesting day. And this is another part of the temple ground, or shrine grounds, excuse me. And this is where the sumo ring, where the emperor, or not emperor, excuse me, the shogun, forgive me. God forgive me, I'm like getting everything wrong. The gods must be angry, like that old South African or Botswanan movie about the Kalahari Desert, host of people. Old tree here. And you have the placards commemorating events, people and stuff. But yo, Super 60, man, thank you so much for coming through, man. Because these IRLs aren't easy to do with the Japanese social norms and everything. Especially after Logan Paul defiled the country. I mean, it's so messed up. But yeah, this is a plaque. In my knowledge, I cannot read, older Japanese Chinese characters, but it's likely a plaque commemorating maybe the shogun's witnessing of a sumo match here, or championship. It would have probably been like a championship sumo match of some sorts, regional at the least, for the shogun to come to attendance, unless he's like a regular attender of sumo wrestling matches. So this thing looks pretty original, like this is like an old school. This is like a very old school style sumo mound. It's partly turned into an anthill. Nature will always take everything back, no matter what. That's just what it's programmed to do. And they're the restrooms I actually need to use. I might cut the stream short, just use the restroom. Kind of shameful. But I want to at least show you guys the rest of the area before I do something like that. And this is the little side gate area. And I think that's probably a shrine as well. As you see the little white dongles hanging from the top, the folded paper. And I almost broke my ankle. And so, got some more plaques, probably from different eras and whatnot. And probably they could have been like also. Oh yeah, you should come chill at my place. I'll be your guide for a tiny fee compared to what you'd have to pay if you had a traditional guide. And I know how to cook well too. So you have some palm trees. This is a semi-tropical area, to be honest. In parts of summer, this place, if it wasn't for the sea breeze right now, this place would be super humid. So in a way, this wind is a blessing in disguise. Oops, sorry. Yeah. You have the Japanese lanterns, like you have in Samurai Showdown. Noboru nai koto. This is not something to be climbed, it says in Japanese. It says No boranai koto. Don't climb this, essentially. It says it's not to be climbed. Japanese language is used very implicatively or implicitly compared to how you use Germanic English language. I hope you can come here too, bro. I really hope you can come here too. And there's some of this kanji that some of the kanji are somewhat familiar, some are not. So I can't really read it, especially since in Japan, name Chinese characters are particularly difficult. Particularly difficult. There's some waifus across the street. Who's that? There's some waifus across the street. And then you have this is the modern part of the world. And then when you go into the temple, boom, all tradition. The edge of this shrine essentially sums up Japanese society in short. And this is what it looks like in the suburbs of Tokyo. And, people are coming here to pray for their dancing, their career, love, life, all those kind of important things. Hold on a second. I can't read that message easily and who it's from. Oh, Grim Sage. Grim Sage, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. This is running off my data, so I gotta be careful. Because, IRLs consume a lot of data plans, and I only have so much I use here. It's daytime there. At night where I'm at, awesome. Yeah, I know, the world is a big, dirty, wet ball. So, yeah, the sun could only shine on one side at a time, except for when you got them full moons. And so I'm at Funabashi Shrine, is what you would call in English, or in Japanese, Funabashi Jinja. The actual name is Ohi Jinja, but local people refer to either Daijingu Jinja or Funabashi Jinja, one or the other. And a lot of community events are held here. And that's basically the center of a lot of community operations here. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. Oh, snap! Who's this? Who is this? Is that Signor Di Roli? Hold on a second. I can barely see. It's so bright here, guys. I can barely see. Zara King! Welcome, brother. I was thinking of you earlier this morning when I woke up. I was like, I'm going to go to Japanese class to do IRL. And Japanese class is tomorrow, not today. So I said, okay, well then, I'll do an IRL. And that'll be good. This one says, Nomuranai koto kiken. Kiken means danger. Now this is written in hiragana, so it's easier for children to read. When families come here and maybe the kid runs away from the parents. When you can't find your kid on a holiday or a special event with so many people, the kids can read that easily. This is dangerous, I shouldn't climb it. So that's why it's written in hiragana, so it's easy to understand and safe. Now these plaques here, I believe, are most likely, and if there's someone who can read kanji, I can't. I can only read basic kanji. These are usually donors. You'd have a Twitch, on a Twitch wall. On my non-IRL streams, I have a little sliding wall of donors. But this is you guys for me. It's the wall of donors for Daijingu Jinja, Ohi Jinja. I'm almost certain of that. If it's not donors, then it's priests, residents, priests, who are in charge, managing the establishment. I look like a total tourist here, so a lot of people don't know that I can speak Japanese, but if I don't say this in English, no one will understand, so that's basically what I'm going to do. And yeah, this is kind of a rural area, but the people are really nice. It's worth coming out. And there's another old-fashioned stone carved lantern. They used to make. No, I'm not originally from Japan. Maybe my ninja soul is, but my corporeal form is not. My corporeal form is multicultural. It's how should I say, Luya and Kajubian in the most simplest of terms. But my DNA test says I'm British and Luya, so I gotta kind of break it to my grandparents that either the wives' tale about them coming from German royalty is true, because a lot of British have royalty in them. Kublai Khan, my ninja. What's up, man? Yo, bro, thanks for coming here, Kublai Khan. I appreciate you. I'm just talking about like my DNA test because people asked if I was Japanese. I'm not, but I do have extended family who paid for my college, who we consider family. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay for your college, who are Japanese, and I've had Japanese family come visit me up in upstate New York, where I'm originally from, upstate New York, and they helped me volunteer in Fukushima. I know, man, it's beautiful here, sunshine. There was just a wife that passed by, very, very traditional, serious, because this is like going to church for people. This is very serious. Like they don't come here to like really, be hit on or flirt. So she was like kind of looking in the corner eye, like trying to really focus on what I was saying, because in the rural parts like here, you don't see many Westerners. Usually they're in southern Tokyo, downtown. So it's really hard for people to guess where you're from if you don't have like a lot of facial hair and blonde hair. So I have one of the two. I have facial hair, And when you come to a Japanese shrine, you have to cleanse yourself. So when you cleanse yourself, you purify your hands and your mouth. You start off with the right. I can't do it with the camera, but I did it before I started the video, obviously. You use your right, get the ladle, it turns on automatically when you walk nearby. Get the ladle, do like this. Now imagine I had two hands, you clean one, take the ladle, clean out the other hand, and you take the ladle again, and then you take the water, put it in your free hand, and you drink it. And I got myself all wet, but that's how you purify yourself. There are directions in English. And we're going to get out of the way so this gentleman can pray. So I'm just teaching you guys how to do this, so when you come to Japan, you can show off to your friends and family and say, look how cool I am. I learned from Namala's stream how to pray in a Japanese shrine properly. And then, so you have the rope there. It tells you in English, I'm not going to go there because that's like a real serious part where people pray with like lifelong wishes and stuff. But I only go there when I'm going to pray. I don't want to do anything disrespectful, even implicitly that can be seen as disrespectful, because this is sacred ground, You spelled it right, man. You spelled it correctly. There's actually a hidden shrine or temple in Akihabara that I've been to. I now have the ability to go there IRL. One problem is because my unemployment in Japan's run out and I'm living off poverty. This is the worst plug for Twitch, but basically, your guys' donations are the only thing that can keep me alive to go do IRLs like this. And if I'm lucky, I can interview people in Japanese for you and translate in English on the fly. And here's like a priestess. I forget what they call it in Japanese. And there's a lot of community boards and government type of things here for recruiting for the Japanese military and things like that. So these are very much like you'd have in a West, a church This is like a community, not like, it is a community center. And those are omikuji. Omikuji are fortunes. You put in 100 to 250 yen, depending on, and you get it out. And if the fortune or the omikuji doesn't come out, you say you get daikyo. Daikyo is like the worst luck. You can tie it up here, pray it away, and that's your thing. Now, and I think they burn these sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I have to do some more research on it. It's been a while, but I've gotten daikichi almost every single time. So I stopped doing this, also partly from my Judeo-Christian upbringing. So, there are some of the crests, I think, of the shogunate and something else, another samurai family, on the bottom of the fountain. And then you have some plaques over there that are some of the like omikujis. And then you could also buy omomoris, if I'm not mistaken, and they give you luck for different things. And then you have so you have people coming here, going through big transitions in their life and stuff, or maybe this is like they do it regularly. It depends on the person, just like in the West, you have different people with different tendencies. And then you have like the smaller side shrines here, and one of the shrines near where my bike is parked. I can, and I think I have done IRLs, and like I said, I'm very financially strapped right now. So if I didn't live in this municipality, I would not be able to easily do this, because I'm using most of my money for engineering job interviews that I have coming up, a few of them in the next 2 weeks. Well, the day after tomorrow, I have one with the Japanese government as a contracted engineer and a research assistant of sorts, or to assist with the research in artificial intelligence. And then the others are going to be for a downtown Tokyo located company as a system engineer. So right now, traveling to those distances, I'm talking like hours. I have to travel hours for these interviews. It's going to be difficult for me because I don't have much money except for basic food and travel, and my unemployment is done for Japan, right? So that's where I am right now. If you're wondering, I'm not going to be homeless because I paid ahead of my rent, so you needn't worry in that regard. But when it comes to utilities, food, water, that's going to be a little interesting of a road. So I still want to do IRLs, and that's that, yeah. And this is like where you buy omomoris and omikujis. Shimasen. And yep. Would still like to learn the culture and religions there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a pagan. Yeah, I got you, bro. I read that. Sir Grim Sage 91. Yep, I got you. You want to learn the religion and the culture of the area? Yeah, definitely. Because it's a big part of it and how people think, even if they're not like, subconsciously it's still a big part of your mind and your upbringing. So it affects how you see the world. Big time. I got someone drives a Crown Royale here, if you noticed, with a plate of Rue number 1. If I'm not mistaken, Y is usually for like rental cars. They went to get their fortunes. I think maybe the guy his wasn't as good as he might have hoped for, because his wife or girlfriend was pretty, like, feeling bimyo, bad for him. So let me guys show you a little bit of area. I have to go to the bathroom really badly, actually. You like learning about all that? I have some brothers like you. That's really cool. So here's the groundskeeper. There's a side entrance, and it's the inside. This is the area that I went to when when I was part of a little ceremony. Yeah, I paid for it for like kind of a life changes style ceremony. Oh, who's this? Sausage! What's up, man? Welcome and thank you for the good music, Sausage. See all the old-fashioned architectures and designs. It's quite fascinating. Quite fascinating. You have the lions, the Chinese-style lions protecting the entrance of the shrine. If you look at the top of those rocks carved with balls, like look like a Dragon Ball almost. I'm apologize for the way it's like. Oh, my hand is covering the camera. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to mind my manners and who's around me because, you know, after the stuff with Logan Paul in Japan, it's really difficult if you're trying to do an IRL in Japan. It's really difficult, guys. It's not easy. Groundskeeper. And these are omikoshi. I've carried one of these before in Nasu. And Nasu Kogen is my Japanese hometown. And when I was 26, I helped carry the omikoshi in Nasu. And it's a real famous part of Japan that I used to live in. And they have here similar as well. I'm going to walk a little closer so you can see those after they're done praying or looking. I'll let them go. So this is what it looks like, guys. And it's beautiful, isn't it? And then if you see the top, you have the crest of the shogunate at the top. No, they can't understand me. This is Sausage. I live in a rural area. I speak Japanese, so... Well, if I start speaking Japanese, you guys won't understand me, and then people wonder if I'm just like a bad Japanese American, potentially, since I'm very mixed. I can't really tell where I'm from exactly. Except for my mustache and the American English I speak. You know, people usually guess off that. Yep. And these things are used to like usher in, you know, they help to carry the god around. And God in Japanese, guys, is more spirit of nature. It's not like we think of the super ultra omnipotent, you know, Sith Lord with lightning coming out of their hands. God in Japanese language means more of a spirit of nature, a governing spirit of nature, maybe at best. Okay. So I'm trying to like make sure the glare doesn't get cut out the picture for you guys, because it's easier for me to see with my naked eyes, whereas the glare kind of interferes with the phone. Yeah, I live in a rural area, somewhat rural, suburbs of Tokyo. Yep, it could be that as well. And there's like a bird at the top, a rooster. Thanks, bro. It's my pleasure. So they're sweeping and cleaning up these areas. And this is what the inside of one of these smaller side shrines looks like. It's like a chapel almost. They even have some old stone lanterns in there. And you have the lions there as well on the side guarding it. Yep. So sometimes you'll have during New Year's you'll have people in these booths selling different things. あ、すいません。どうぞ。すみません。いえ、すみませんでした。Or maybe they're actual shrines and I'm just not aware of it fully. I guess she's bowing and praying to everything. And here's the ship head. It's very symbolic of this town's name. Not if you have friends that speak Japanese, but not really, because everyone here speaks English. They're just too shy to speak it. But if you're a tourist and you need help, they don't want to shame their culture, especially with Western tourists, because that's what they're trying to attract. I mean, of course, they get more tourists from other East Asian countries, which is fine, but the cultural predisposition from the Meiji Restoration is heavily towards westernization, even though a lot of the culture is borrowed from the Tang dynasty in China. So the emotional mood is people want Westerners kind of absorb Western people in some way, shape, or form, depending on the person. Okay, this is like a very general statement. If I upload to YouTube, don't start bashing me in the comments section. You don't know anything about this or that, blah 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 blah. I'm not an anthropologist, but I have a lot of friends and family that are, and I'll just leave it at that. But it's not too hard to do anything here. As long as you speak English, you should be fine. You'll have to be patient, because English is very difficult for someone who's grown up speaking an Eastern language from the general Eastern language families. It's very difficult. The grammar is opposite. The writing system's completely different. Here's some commemorations on the side. And then you have some shops. The second floor of that shop right there, I'm pointing through the trees. It's called Sahara. I'll have to go there to shop. See, it's really beachy soil here, or really sandy soil, because this area is beach. You even have seashells here, if you notice. You have seashells mixed into the soil here. So a lot of this area was cultivated from ocean area, like a lot of land here is kind of geoengineered, to put it simply as possible. Oh, that's good. Then you're fine, dude. Then you're fine. You're totally fine if you come here. You don't need to worry. Just, be just as you would be back home in the West. I don't know if you're from the States or Canada or whatnot, England, whatever. But you don't want to try to blend in too much, because you don't want to look like, that you live in Japan as a foreigner. So people might have a little bit higher expectations for you to know how to do this or that act. So just be the way you would be back in the States. So let me try not to fall down these stairs while doing an IRL. Great way to end the IRL along with my life. If you're wondering, this is the area I'm in. Oh, I'm getting low 20. Oh, okay, from the same area that I'm from. So, Honden, Shinmon, Shrine Office, Tokiwa Jinja, Tomyodai is the lighthouse, and then Funabashi Station is where I live near. It's a JR, Japan Rails line. If you guys are ever interested in coming and visiting me, you can. And here's an obelisk. So I'm a big Egypt fan, so hails to the obelisks. And the trees are very old here, so they're being supported by ropes and stuff. I could. I was thinking of going to 7-Eleven and use the bathroom because it's pretty much closer than the shrine bathroom on the second floor of, or the second level of this. Google Maps is good. Google Translate is horrible. Yeah, they're not equal levels yet. Google Translate has ways to catch up to Google Maps. Has a big ways to catch up to each other. So actually I have the same type of bike as those moms. It's called a Mama Chidi. It's like a mom's bike or something. I have a mom's bike. Well, if you ask why, because it's easier when you go grocery shopping and stuff like that. And it's pretty simply constructed, so you don't have to worry about braking as much. Like it's made to be a little bit rugged and more industrious. So the pink car. The apartment complexes. I can tell you right now, probably this complex is probably not like allowed to have foreigners, because the Japanese have a lot of house customs, like taking off their shoes and staying super, super, super clean and all that stuff. So, it'll be harder, to get an apartment in Japan if you're trying to live here, except for where I live, like a Leo Palace. Other places you have to have a guarantor, and they can still reject you on the basis legally being a foreigner. It's not like the United States. I use Google Translate. It's getting better, honestly. They have like verified translations now. And here's 7-Eleven. There's one by my house. We have everything from coffee here. I'm gonna end the stream here soon because I have to use the bathroom. We have the ATM right here and the copy machine. And even the copy machine looks like English, but it has less options. Then it's in Japanese, Chinese even lesser options. It's funny. So sometimes I still use it in English. There's some advertisements for movies and concerts and like local events, things of the sorts. And yep, this is what it's like to live in Japan. I don't wear shoes in anyone's house, and I don't like people wearing shoes in my own. You should be fine, Grim Sage One. You should be okay. And here's like Japanese magazines. You see there's a lot of Westerners. They have a lot of half and mixed people on the cover of the magazines. And these are comic books over here. Let's see what's that. Shonen Jump, yeah, pretty much. This is historical, the magazines. And then you have your cup ramen and regular ramen, which I like to make from scratch. Staff checking inventory, all the juices and the yogurt. It's a good foodie country, I'll say that. Yeah. And you got the AKB-48. Oh. Oh, Messi. World Cup Russia. Yeah, the World Cup's starting soon, guys. Some mangas are very dark. It's kind of surprising. Can't beat that. Oh my god. It's too funny. So yeah, chips and snacks over here. And yep. I know. Yeah, so I'm gonna head to the restroom, guys. I'm gonna cut the stream for a while. Also, my phone is like around. I have a backup battery, but my phone is like, it's really low in batteries, less than 20%. And then, yeah. And the people are probably uncomfortable because this is not typically like a touristy area. This is more of like a suburb where families go to live after they meet in like downtown Tokyo and stuff. Ooh, there's some waifus right there. But I don't want to be too creepy to anybody either. So on that note, much love to you guys. Well, it's good practice for Japanese. I mean, One Piece is still written in English. See, One Piece. Yep. So, anyways, yep, I gotta end it. I gotta go so bad, guys. So I appreciate your time, energy, coming to the stream. Love, and peace out.